Dear students, I am Dr. Basaraj N. Nakki, Associate Professor of History, Government First Aid College, Dandeli, Uttar Kannada District. This video program is on Kushanas, its political history and life and achievements of Kanishka. This is for Karnataka University, Dharwad BA first semester of Indian History subject, session number 70. So, Kushanas, its political history, Kanishka, is life and achievements. Dear students, as you know very well, Kushanas were not Indians, they were foreigners. They ruled for about 215 years, and there are no sufficient records in order to understand the history and achievements of this dynasty. But here and there, few documents are available on which the present history is written. The Kushanas period marks an important era in the history of ancient India. For the first time, after the fall of the Mauryas, the vast empire was set up by the Kushanas. The empire of the Kushanas was extended not only in northern India but also in Central Asia. Thus, India was brought into contact with the rest of the world. Buddhist texts like Ashwaghosa's Madhyamika Sutta and Nagasena's Buddha Charita throw light on the history of the Kushanas. Religions like Shaivism and Buddhism flourished during the Kushanas. The Buddhism was introduced in China by Kashyapa Matanga, who was there from 61 AD to 71 AD. The dynasty of Kanishka opened the way for Indian civilization to Central and Eastern Asia. Kanishka, who is considered as the great king, was a patron of Buddhism. Let us see their capital cities. The first capital city was Bagram. It is also called as Kapisi. Then Peshawar, which was known as Purushapura, Mathura, and Takshila. These were the capital cities of the Kushanas. The empire was extended in the present part of Afghanistan, Pakistan, and northern India. Greek was their official language up to 127 AD and Bactria from 127 AD. They patronized Buddhism, Hinduism, and Zoroastrianism. Kushanas were belonged to Yuchi tribe settled on the banks of river Oxus in about 128 BC. This tribe had 5 branches who were mainly nomads. 100 years after their permanent settlement, they followed aggressive policy and reduced the principalities to subjection. Hence, there was struggle for supremacy for a very long time in which Kushanas were successful and declared themselves as lord. Thus, the state of Kushanas was created by force. The theory of divine origin of the state was developed when Kushanas has conquered the Indian territory. So this is all about the introduction part of Kushanas. Let us see the political history and who were the kings of the Kushana dynasty. Kuzu Kadiphises, who was there from 30 to 80 AD. Vima Sadakshan, who was there from 80 to 95 AD. Vima Kadiphises, 95 to 127 AD. Kanishka 127 to 150 AD, Huviska 150 to 180, Vasudeva 190 to 230, Vasishka 247 to 267, and Kanishka II 270 to 350 were the important rulers of this Kushana dynasty. Let us see the important rulers of this dynasty. The first one is Kudula Kadiphises. He is considered as the founder of this dynasty and most powerful ruler among them. He defeated all the 5 groups of his tribe and thus established an empire which was extended between the rivers of Oxus and Sindh. His empire comprised Bactria, Afghanistan, East Iran, and northwestern part of India. It is evident from his coins that he defeated the last Yavana ruler and extended the Kushana empire after Takshila. He struggled throughout his reign to extend his empire. There is a controversy about his period of administration. Kadiphises II was the next ruler. He was the son of Kadiphises I and succeeded after his death. He is also known as Vema Kadiphises. He was a brave and courageous ruler. He extended his kingdom from Takshila to many parts of northern India. He too followed the policy of imperialism of his father. His boundaries touched the boundary of Roman Empire in the west, China in the north, and the kingdom of Shatavahanas in the southwest. He issued gold and copper coins. His titles like Maheshwara, Sarvalokeshwara, Maharaja found on the obverse and images of God Shiva on the reverse of the coin. He issued gold and copper coins. He tried his level best to develop trade and commerce. He also strengthens the trade relationship with foreign countries, especially with China and Roman Empire. As a result of his efforts, India emerged as a great power during his reign. The next important ruler is Kanishka. He was the son of Kadipasa II. No detailed information is available about his relationship. In the absence of records, there is no unanimous opinion regarding the date of accession of Kanishka. It is said that he ascended in 78 AD. Some historians believe that he ascended the throne in 125 AD. Yet others say that he ascended the throne in 144 AD. Thus, there are controversies regarding his date of accession or year of accession. But among these, most of the historians believed that he ascended the throne in 78 AD, which is popularly accepted tale. He occupies a prominent position among the rulers of the Kushanas. He had an empire extended in Afghanistan, Middle Asia, and northwest India. In order to extend his kingdom, he captured more area in India and abroad. He had combined capacity of military ability of Chandragupta Maurya and religious zeal of King Ashoka. He conquered the following places. Let us see the conquest of Kanishka. First, he captured Kashmir. As you know very well, Kashmir is situated in the Himalayan region, and as a result of this, it has a natural beauty. That beauty attracted the attention of the Kanishka, so he decided to capture it and annex it in his kingdom. He also laid the foundation for a new city called Kanishkapura in memory of this conquest. The second conquest of Kanishka was Magadha. The Buddhist text gives us information about the conquest of greater part of Magadha. It is said that the Lichavi ruler of Magadha presented Ashwaghosha, a famous Buddhist monk, to Kanishka. Kanishka took him to his court. The Chinese and Tibetan texts support this idea. Kanishka coins found in Magadha suggest that it is conquered by him. So, thus Ashwaghosha occupied the place in the court of Kanishka, who later on was a great Buddhist scholar. His next war is with the Kshatrapas. At the time of the accession of Kanishka, the Kshatrapas were very powerful in northern India. Kanishka was ambitious and not satisfied with what he captured, so he made up his mind to capture the territory of Kshatrapas, the area situated in Punjab and Mathura. He also defeated the Chastan, the founder of the kingdom of Jain. Then the Sakas gave up a part of Malwa province to Kanishka. Then Shakas accepted the supremacy of conquest. The next war or the battle was fought by Kanishka is against China. This was the most important victory of Kanishka. It included the conquest of three provinces, namely Khotan, Kashgar, and Yarkand. The Chinese tried their level best to recapture the lost regions. Pan Choa, the Chinese general, was a great warrior. The Chinese army under the leadership advanced towards westward. Kanishka decided to face him. The reasons for his attack were discontinuity of payment of annual tribute and Kanishka desired to marry Chinese princesses. These two things irritated Pan Choa. In the battle, Kanishka was badly defeated and compelled to pay annual tribute. After the death of Pan Choa, his son Pan Chi Yang became the general of the Chinese army. Kanishka undertook the second expedition and defeated the Chinese army. Thus, he took the revenge of his earlier defeat. After this victory, the Chinese provinces like Kashgar, Khotan, and Arkand were annexed to the empire of Kanishka once again. Now, let us see the estimate of Kanishka. Kanishka was a great conqueror and an efficient commander of his army. He conquered many provinces of India, such as Kashmir, Magadha, Punjab, etc. He also attacked the Chinese empire twice and at last conquered the provinces of Kashgar, Yarkand, and Khotan. It was he who extended his empire beyond the Pamir Plateau, Afghanistan, and Bactria. He led his army in the battlefield. As an administrator, he followed the administration system of the Kshatrapas. He appointed Mahakshatrapa and many Kshatrapas in order to exercise an efficient control over such a vast empire. But he always kept a strict watch over the activities of the Kshatrapas. All the administration was centralized under him. Let us see how Kanishka worked as a promoter of Buddhism. Kanishka was a lover of peace and war. He was staunch supporter of Buddhism. He adopted many measures for the spread of Buddhism. He conducted a Buddhist council at Kashmir, that is fourth council, in which differences were removed and proceedings were written and compiled in a book named Mahavibhasha. This book is an encyclopedia of Buddhism. He also extended his support to Mahayana sect of Buddhism. He sent his religious missionaries to foreign countries. Hence, it spread to many Asian countries like China, Japan, Tibet, and Central Asia. Let us see his patronage to literature. Kanishka also extended his royal support to art and literature. Many learned scholars received royal patronage in his court. Ashwagosha, Nagarjuna, Vashamitra, and Charaka were eminent writers in his court. Ashwagosha wrote scholarly works like Buddha Charita. This is the masterpiece of Sanskrit literature. This book has 17 chapters, deals with the life and teachings of Buddha. Sundarananda Kavya, Sariputra Prakarana, also books written by Ashwagosha. He may be called a pioneer of literary awakening in that age. He was well versed in music, philosophy, literature, religion, and debate. Charaka wrote Charaka Samhita, is a Sanskrit book on Ayurvedic medicine. Nagarjuna was another great scholar and philosopher. He was known as the best exponent of Mahayanism, for which new theory of Buddhism. He wrote a book called Prajna Paramita Shastra, which is considered as a unique book on philosophy and science. He explained the theory of relativity in his book. Hence, he is called Indian Einstein among the scientists of India. Vasumitra presided over the Buddhist council held at Kashmir, conducted by Kanishka. Charaka was a reputed royal physician in the court of Kanishka. He was celebrated author of Charaka Samhita. This is the unique book on Ayurvedic medicine. So this is all about Kanishka. Let us see his patronage to literature. As a result of the patronage to art and architecture, there were beautiful statues of Buddha are found in the present museums of Lahore, Peshawar, Takshila, Mathura, and New Delhi. A life-size statue of Kanishka is still preserved at Mathura Museum. He constructed vihara and stupas. He built a big wooden tower in his capital at Peshawar. Its height is 120 meters. The most significant feature of his reign of Kanishka was the development of Gandhara School of Art. I will explain this part in this next video. It is the mixture of Indo-Greek style. With the origin of this style of sculpture, a new style of art was developed in ancient India. This is all about Kanishka and his achievements. And these are the reference books. There is a special book on Kushanas written by Anjula Kusum. It is a PhD thesis published by ICHR, Life and Conditions under the Kushanas. Thank you.